Welcome everyone to another episode of the Shade and Shit Talking Podcast. I'm your host TK, and as always, I thank you guys for tuning in. As a matter of fact, for the last year, you guys have been riding with me, and I appreciate it. So, for those of you who don't know, this episode is my 1 year anniversary of podcasting, and to me, it's a pretty big deal because, you know, I didn't think I would go this long. But with the support from you guys, support from my Black with No Chaser family, support from my friends and all of that, we've made it this far, and, you know, really ain't no stopping us now. We just going to keep this thing moving. Now, as you know, usually I have like a certain topic that I want to delve into and discuss and, you know, bring forth. But this week, I'm going to just talk just in general about the news and some of the past stories that I did. And to joining me to talk about this is my boy, my ace, a fellow Black with No Chaser member, also the host of the Unapologetic Experience, the host of the Unapologetic Geek Facebook page. He's also co-host of the podcast Black Excellence and Ignorance, and you heard him here before. Is my boy, Mr. Jarius Thomas. What's happening, dog?
What's good, bro? What's good, man? I'm happy to be here. What's up?
Oh, man, you know, just the same old same, man. Just doing my thing, man. Like I said, it's my 1 year, and I'm pretty hyped, man. I'm happy to still be doing it and looking forward to doing plenty more.
Right, man. And big ups to you, bro. Congratulations, doing this thing for a year, going through the bumps and the bruises that comes with podcasting and stepping out and doing your own thing, man. I admire it.
I appreciate it, man. And you know, you know as well how it goes. Like you said, the bumps and the bruises, the doubts, the doubters, the time that it takes to put stuff together, research and all of that. Because, you know, you don't want to just jump out there sounding foolish. So, you know, you have to do your due diligence when you're talking about things, man. So,
absolutely.
You know, with that said, man, I'm gonna just get right into, you know, what's going on right now, man. So we've been watching the news, man, and we've talked about this a little bit. You know, you saw the story about the admission scandal with you know, like you said, Becky and Felicity Huffman.
Yeah.
And I my take on that is one of, I don't feel sorry for whatever happens to them. You know, they Becky's facing a nice little piece of time in prison, and I honestly,
nice, bro. It's an understatement.
You know, I really don't feel bad for her at all. What about yourself, man?
I don't feel like, I'm not the type of person that just want to see everybody go to jail unless they absolutely deserve it. They did some heinous shit like killing somebody or raping somebody, you know, that kind of stuff. But this is a completely unnecessary crime. Like it's like, why you all have, and I'm not in anybody's pockets with this, y'all got the money. Y'all got the money to just go ahead and pay for your kids to go the clean way. You got to come and get a scholarship for your child and make up their attendance or their being a part of a sport that they have no idea about, never showed up to a practice, probably didn't even know about the sport before you all rigged the system to get them in there. And for what? And then on top of that, the children benefited from being in there. One of Lauren Loughlin's kids had a YouTube channel based on her experience as a student. And then they have Sephora endorsements and all that kind of shit. Like, come on, man. Come on. It's just dirty all the way around. Period.
Yeah, exactly, man. Like, you know, my thing was, like you said, it's unnecessary, but it wasn't done out of need. You know, it was done because you wanted to have the ability to say, well, my child went to so-and-so, so-and-so. You know, meanwhile, you have people who are literally sending their schools to a totally shitty district with no resources and no good teachers and no good facilities and all of that. Even like, I remember last year, back in Jackson, they did a food drive because some of the kids, weren't eating and all of that. The only meal is sometimes when they go to school, right? So you have people who are doing all they can to flee from that and going to jail and getting felonies on their records and all of that out of necessity. Whereas you got these people doing it for just a vanity type of thing. So whatever happens to them, I feel no way about it. They go to jail for a year, go to jail for 40 years. I really wouldn't care at all.
Yeah, man, it's shameful, bro. It's shameful. Like, it's some disgraceful shit, and that's why Felicity Huffman just went ahead and copped the plea, because she knows she dead ass wrong for that. And Lauren Loughlin is kind of, hiding from the whole situation or whatever, and her daughters, of course, have dropped out of school and all of that. But it's I can't feel bad for you. You tried to rig the system, a system that's already rigged in your favor.
Right.
Yeah, that's trash.
Oh yeah, man. And like on one of my past episodes, man, I covered I talked about Kelly Bowler Williams. And she's one of the ones, I was referencing when I said, went to jail. She changed her address to her father's address, I believe. And, she went to jail. She's facing big fines and restitution, and she couldn't pay it, so they took her to jail. And that right there is like the fundamental difference, man. Like, she didn't have the money for any of that shit. Whereas, like you said, they could have just wrote one check for a whole 4 years if they wanted to,
right,
without even blinking, But again, they chose to, game the system and in the process of this, they committed money laundering and all of this other shit. So that's what's really, gonna stick them. And like I said, they deserve to go, straight to jail, man.
Yeah, straight up, man. I ain't got no love for that. That shit whack.
Yeah, totally. And like just thinking about what they did, and the word system came up, and we both know that the system is just really not designed for us. You know what I'm saying? Like the cards have always been stacked against us from day one. From the slave codes to Jim Crow to school to prison pipeline and all of that. So the system has always been designed for us to fail, and the system has always failed us. And one of the stories that I covered before that recently came to light, and I wanted your opinion on it again about how the system failed us is, you remember in I think it might be Pittsburgh, Antoine Rose Jr., the 17-year-old kid who was running from the police, got shot in the back, and he died.
Right.
Well, a couple weeks ago, the officer who was charged, with his murder was acquitted. Okay. And they said that, he, as always, he was just in what he did. And on the same token, the officer, the black officer who killed the white lady in Minneapolis, I believe, he's a Muslim guy. I think his name is Muhammad Moore or something like that. They ready to throw the book at him.
Of course, bro. Like this just had. Like, we can get into the criminal justice. I actually got a degree in criminal justice, man. Just studying that shit, it blows you. It completely, not just blow your mind, but it blows you, man. Like, the things people have gotten away with, the things that were deemed okay at the time, where law enforcement didn't face any kind of penalty. It's disgusting, and people, kind of try to act like this is new or whatever. Nah, it's been going on for a minute. The the law where they can't shoot you unless you're armed, they came from a kid who was running and the cops couldn't catch him. Kid jumped the fence and they shot him because he was going to get away. And at that point, it was deemed that you couldn't shoot an unarmed pedestrian if you're an officer. But the other side of that is the police officers didn't face any jail time. So this is nothing new. Like, it's precedent set all through the history of the criminal justice system, where law enforcement is pretty much Teflon. But then someone who's not law enforcement, namely someone of color, who commits a similar crime or non-crime, if you ask me, they get harsher penalties. And then when you examine it, everybody wants to go to this, that's different mentality. And it's just, it's nuts, man. We living in a crazy world.
Oh yeah, man. You are absolutely right, man. And what bothers me a lot about it is they are supposed to be held to a higher standard than what the regular citizen is held to. But they aren't, you know. And that damn thin blue wall is problematic as hell, man.
Yeah.
You know, whereas they can commit wrong and they see each other committing wrong, but instead of, you know, exposing that wrongdoing, they just sweep it under the rug. It is what it is and just move forward, you know. But they want you to tell on me and me to tell on so-and-so and you know, and they try to tell us that's how the system works, that's how justice works, but they don't do the same, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
like,
right.
They'll go to their grave before they tell on one another, no matter how wrong they are. And that's why I always say, man, just throw the whole system away and start over.
Right. But of course, that's too much like right. That ain't gonna happen either.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you know, we all know that. And, you know, speaking of too much like right, man. You know, the biggest story that we've all been talking about this last week and a half, 2 weeks or whatever, is about Nipsey. Nipsey. And man, we've seen some doozies, man. Like, I wrote a blog piece for on blackwithnochaser.com, you know, talking about how, for me, Nipsey was his death was more influential, was bigger to me and on me than the death of Tupac, than the death of Biggie. For a multitude of ways, you know, like we all know what Pac stood for and you know what he rapped about, but unfortunately for him and for us, you know, he was clipped down at 24, 25 years old. Yep. So he never really got a chance to fulfill you know, his dream and his promise, you know what I'm saying? But the way I look at it, like Nipsey, he is Pac's dream personified, you know, and he was able to get out there and make, you know, this substantive change to positively affect, you know, his community. And hell, honestly, all of ours, if you look at it, if you see the blueprint that he laid out. Now, you posted something on The Unapologetic Geek. Like and share on Facebook, y'all, by the way. Go check him out.
Oh, absolutely.
Really,
thank you.
Really, really dope page. Funny, informative, all of that. But you posted something on that, man, that just really just blew my mind. It was a tweet, I guess, from Jermaine Dupri, where he talked about Nipsey. He said he heard Joe Budden or somebody say that Nipsey was Jesus. Like, tell me what went through your mind when you saw that, man.
We just ain't gonna get enough, are we? That was the first thing that went through my mind. We just not gonna get enough. Like, it was already getting to the point where they were kind of pushing it. You saw the picture with Nipsey locking arms. No, Nick Cannon locking arms with Nipsey and somebody else and it had Rosa Parks and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in the background. I've seen some crazy shit. The other one is it's kind of like The Last Supper, and they got Nipsey with Tupac, Malcolm X, Dr. Martin Luther King, Bob Marley. They had all of them together, and it's one that I found a meme that perfectly encompasses everything. It just says, "Who gave y'all niggas art supplies, man?" And that's where I was with it. Like, who gave y'all these art supplies? But I was okay with that. Some of it was funny, you know. But then the Nipsey is Jesus thing, I'm like, I can see God working through somebody, but I'm not about to call this man the Son of God. Like, I'm not about to say this man was sent here to die for our sins, essentially. That just doesn't do it for me. He was sent here to make an impact, which he did, and to, you know, show love and to get people to just come together. As you see the impact he's had on the Bloods and the Crips, basically showing unity now in light of his untimely death. But no. Just stop it. And some people are genuinely in their feelings, and I believe Jermaine Dupri was in his feelings. Then you got people just making statements like that just for clout, just to be hot at the moment and start trending. No, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, man, it's listen, man, I laughed so hard when I saw it. Like, I hadn't been on Facebook all day, man, and I picked up my phone and I clicked the icon, and ironically enough, your page was the first thing that popped up with that particular post. And man, I just sat there and I laughed a good hearty laugh from deep within for maybe 5 or 10 minutes, man. Just reading that and reading some of the comments, you know. And just the whole absurd idea, man. You know, like you said, I could see, you know, him working through different people, man. I think, you know, the Most High uses everybody that he can to improve life and all of that. But like you said, just to say this man was a savior of sorts, the savior, you know, that's the word stretch or reach don't even, you know, encapsulate what that is completely.
Yeah, that's beyond it.
Like, I even come in and I was like, man, all this time growing up, I heard my grandma talk about the blood of Jesus. I never would have guessed that he'd be a Crip. You know, my grandma will go off
right now.
Oh man, like my grandma would be thinking we talk about Nipsey Russell. You know,
exactly.
First of all, like, she wouldn't even know what the hell we talking about. You know, but. That's just one of the many insane takes about Nipsey. You know, then you also have the conspiracy theorists out there. We lit into them on Off Topic, which is the Black Excellence and Ignorance podcast. We lit into the conspiracy theories with this past episode, man. Like, we just couldn't take it no more. Right, like listen, man. If they was knocking folks off for talking about eating healthy, man, you know, there'd be so many people just dead, you know, right. Richardson, Sean T, Suzanne Summers. Like, you can name 10,000 people who would have been taken out for talking about that, man. You know, and you got people saying that he cured AIDS and he cured cancer. Like, I mean, if he cured AIDS, he might be the reason why Magic Johnson quit. Man, they was out to get him. You know, his connection with Dr. Sebi, so they had to get rid of him. You know, just
yeah, man. Like,
it's crazy.
It's too crazy. You know, and it's not crazy because you can't process it. It's crazy because it just doesn't add up. It's not like this information is hidden or anything. You could have found out about Dr. Sebi on your own,
right?
Or whatever. But it's just one of those things. I just want people to do better. That's just it. That's what it comes down to. And then you find out on the other side of this, it's possible that Sebi was a fraud. It's possible. That's the new thing I've been hearing. It's possible that he was just basically taking people's money or whatever, and it's not any documented proof that he cured AIDS. By the way, AIDS is a virus. So it's one of those things, and I found this out from another medical professional. You don't cure viruses, you make them dormant. Like, you can't remove a virus from the body. It's like the flu is in you already. It's just certain circumstances cause it to come to the forefront where you're actually showing symptoms or whatever. So, do you know what it would take to cure somebody of AIDS? You basically need new blood.
I think Magic bought it. No, yeah, I mean, listen, man, I totally agree, man. But listen, if it was proven that this man was a fraud, like, do you know how many hoteps and conspiracy theories would like want to kill themselves or just lose their fucking minds?
Yeah,
like they wouldn't know which direction to go.
Yeah, no.
If that shit came out, man, you know. And again, I applaud him for talking about being healthy, man. You know, staying away from processed foods and GMOs and, you know, meat and all of that. Like, that is legit, excellent information, helpful information. You know, but I don't think that was worthy of Nipsey getting killed. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, if anything, if somebody would have came and said that he got killed because of his preaching of black economics and black empowerment and you know, buying up the block and prevent gentrification, like, I would sit down and listen to you tell me this. Like, I would have an open mind and an open heart for that conversation from whomever, if that's the direction that they went, because that is quite honestly, you know, more believable than, you know, a nigga getting killed over fruits and veggies.
Yeah.
You know? That's just me.
Yeah, man, over dieting and meditation and all that kind of shit. I'm with you on that, man.
You know, but you know, and it's just amazing how, you know, things tie in together, man. You know, because we was talking about, you know, injustices in the system and how they work against us. Well, let me give you another example of this, and it's a direct relation to Nipsey, since we're talking about him. Now, Nipsey was at his Marathon store to get clothes for a friend of his who had been locked up for X amount of years, right?
That's tragic.
And, you know, the guy was there with him. He got shot as well, this friend. And he's in the hospital, he's healing up or whatever. Now he's being charged because he was in, you know, the same vicinity. He was interacting with a quote unquote known gang member.
Like, has he not been through enough at this point? Has he not? You can charge that to the game, man. Not only because of the optics of how you look. Charge it to the game because he went through enough, man. And the city has gone through enough. Just let it go. But that's not the society that we live in, man.
Exactly, man. And, you know, it's one of those things where the system is designed for us to completely fail, because, you know, charging that man for that bullshit is just a failure as not only as law enforcement, but as a goddamn human being. You know, you watch the person who reached out to help you in your lowest point get shot and killed, you know, right in front of you.
Right.
At the same time, you got shot and possibly killed. And while you processing all of that, they hit you with this bullshit charge, like, you know. And what I found the most problematic with it was the fact that this man was not out here gang banging. He wasn't out here shooting guns and fighting and all of this. You know, this man was as much of an upstanding citizen at this point in his life as you and me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. He was just he was a guy. He was a guy at this point. Like, it's sad. Is it not?
Yeah.
The whole situation, top to bottom, and when you get the full scope of the story, when you find out even when he was going out a hero. He was still being a good, heroic person as he was going out. And I hated killed him. Over what? Like, really, over what, man? Because he wouldn't put you on because he was, or he told you, just get away from me right now. And not even in a rude way, from my understanding. Get away from me right now because you're known around here as a snitch, and it could put myself and my children in danger if I'm seen associated with you. And when I check out everything and I find out you're not a snitch, then we can talk about you putting your music on. Oh, not to mention that he was actually willing to clear the guy's name according to the story that seems to be the actual story of what happens. He was ready to put forth his best effort to clear that guy's name as a snitch in the community, so he'll be able to walk around safely. And you went back and did that?
Yeah, man, and that just shows the type of people that we dealing with, both within and outside, of our communities. And the conspiracy theory wheel was in full tilt, boy. I've seen stories where they said that the guy said that he was paid $75,000 by the LAPD to kill this man and promised him he wouldn't go to jail and all of that.
Then you got Chris Darden coming out here.
Man, Chris Darden should be ashamed of himself, man. Like, I get it. I think this is for a huge payday for him down the line.
Yeah,
because of who got killed. This would by far, in my opinion, be a movie made, someday about Nipsey's life and his death and the subsequent trial and all of that. So you can't do it without mentioning, the lawyer for the accused, which would be Chris Dodd.
Right.
So, I mean, his relationship with the black community has been shit for a long time, and it's really
like, fuck it.
Yeah, it's irreparable now. Like, he passed the point of return. You know what I'm saying? He well past the point of no return. So, like you said, man, the whole situation is sad to see. Did you get to watch any of the funeral?
Oh yeah, just a little bits and pieces. I ain't sit down and watch the whole thing and nothing like that.
Man, I personally couldn't watch it, man. Like, I couldn't sit there and see this. I saw like the clips of the son talking, and the thing that struck me about this little boy talking was that it wasn't his biological son. The way he spoke of Nipsey with love and reverence, man, for him, not to be his blood showed a lot to me about who this man was behind closed doors, outside of the public spectrum. Like, somebody had to tell me that was Lil Wayne's son, because I swear I didn't know.
Man, look just like him, but that's the rule, man. When you feed them long enough, they look like you.
Yeah, you right about that. But
somebody had to tell me that too, and which even with that, and when I posted it, somebody corrected me on it, but at the same time, it wasn't a correction because I went back and said, look, as a step parent myself, that's my kid. What are we talking about here? That's still my kid, but go ahead. What you were saying?
No, I totally agree, man. That's where, like, I don't like using the term step. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm taking care of you, you with me every day, you under my roof, you my child. I'm responsible for your well-being, for your safety, your education, so on and so forth. So you are not, my stepchild. You are my child. And apparently that's what Nipsey did with that child, the way that child spoke of him.
Yeah, right. Exactly what it was, man. But that's the one that got that fucked me up. I was cool until I got to Lil Man. I was like, let me turn this shit off, man.
Right.
I looked at the clips. Snoop Dogg's speech was my favorite.
I didn't, like I said, I didn't even see it, man. That I heard people talking about Snoop. I heard people talking about, I believe, YG. I heard people talking about Stevie Wonder, but I watched none of that, man. Like, I just couldn't bring myself to do
it. Yeah. I was just gonna say it probably got to the, for a lot of people, not even probably, for a lot of people, it got to the point where it's too much. I had to stop posting the shout outs and the tributes after a while because it got to be too much, man. But Snoop was funny, and Snoop told some good "that's my homeboy" stories of Nipsey that I really appreciated.
Yeah, and you know, like they've been good for a long time. You know what I'm saying? So it's some people that you saw and heard from that you knew it was like a genuine love, a genuine respect. It wasn't on some clout chasing shit like you mentioned earlier. Like your boy Game and his whole.
That whole situation with Kodak Black is stupid. Him and T.I. too damn old to be doing it anyway.
Right. They all too old for that shit, man. Like we talked about before, man. You know, I get the gist of what they're saying as far as like being disrespectful. I think more so Kodak's comments were out of place at the wrong time. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have a problem with the timing of it, you are absolutely legit in your feelings. But as far as what he said, I just didn't take it, you know, that bad. Well, first of all, I think Kodak is mentally challenged, man, and I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that to be funny or mean or something like that, man. I don't know if it's the drugs or what, but you know, his mentally his mental capabilities are a little less than average, I believe, man.
They're questionable at best.
Like, you know, from his talking about, you know, Young M.A. and the things he said about her, and you know, the things he said about dark skinned women, and like J. Cole said it best, man. That nigga need guidance for real. You know, instead of just yes man, because you got like Trick Daddy. Trick Daddy be ready to fight any and everybody over the stuff that they say, you know, about Kodak when they have a problem with the things he said. And he, you know, he like to say that he can say whatever he want, you know. Like, you've been here long enough to pull that young man to the side, Trick, and be like, look, man, you know, you need to slow down, clean this shit up with this, that, and the third. I completely
agree, man. Like, you know, some people tend to try and handle things in social media, but to me, in this situation, it was like, hey, look, I'm doing something about it. When we really didn't have to know about that. We really didn't have to. Like, I would have called him like, hey, man, like, who did that? Tank or somebody, some rapper or performer went on after he talked to Kodak Black. And
right.
He kind of took up for Kodak Black, like, look, I talked to him, he understands where he wrong, get off of him. That's basically what the message was.
Right.
That was handling it correct. My thing is, I always respect the people that move in silence. If JayZ and Beyonce were to talk to him, or, you know, any other artist that keeps things quiet, it would have been Kodak that told you later on. Or somebody who was close to that situation would have told you later on, oh, yeah, man, he came back and apologized because he talked to JayZ or something like that. And those are the guys I respect, not these look at me types or whatever. And like you say, it's an OG way of handling things. I think one of the biggest mistakes, social media mistakes made by OG was when Jay Prince went online talking to those young cats who took old boy's chain. That was a part of his that he's affiliated with. And like, Jay Prince, you an OG, man. Like, you don't have to make an announcement that you're looking for them dudes or nothing like that. Like we already assumed that she was looking for them dudes, and we found that was
Right.
one of the homeboys or whatever. And then they went online and basically disrespected him, and then he came back and said something else. Like, you look crazy at this point. And
Yeah.
he giving him a clout.
Yeah, exactly, man. First of all, Jay Prince is bigger than the OG, man. He like the godfather of,
Yeah, he a godfather. That's exactly what he is.
of rap and all of that, man. So, I remember seeing that. I was like, it seemed weird and out of place to me, the way he
Very out of touch.
did it, man. Because I live in Texas, man, and you hear all these Jay Prince stories that never get brought to light. Mm-hmm. So, hearing the stories that I've heard since I've been out here since 2005 versus what transpired a few weeks ago, just totally threw me off, because I'm like, that ain't the same dude. You know what I'm saying? Like you, the old Jay Prince, nigga, you wouldn't know that he got you until it's too late.
All right. Straight up.
Like, so, but that's the dangers of social media, man. It's like a drug to some people, man. It's a way to escape who you really are, and you could be anything. It's like Fantasy Island on your laptop or your phone.
That's exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is, man. Social media is a hotbed for ignorance, and it can be a hotbed for excellence too.
Yeah.
not to plug the podcast or nothing like that, but it's just one of those things. It exists. It has its own life. And I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's nothing that has a governing body or anything like that. We kind of make up the rules as we go. And as far as I'm concerned, I think all the OGs and the Godfathers just need to stay off it, as far as confrontation is concerned,
right?
Or whatever, because they don't. It's not a good look. It's just not.
It's like it kind of reminded me of, like, I got an aunt, man. She about 75, 76 years old, man, and she discovered Facebook. And when I tell you, the whole family get chain messages every goddamn day through Messenger. It's like she discovered it and it just popped off, man. You be want to call, like, could you not do this? So that's how I see, like, some of these older cats who just not discovering the power of social media, and it's getting in the way of real shit, man. Just completely.
Right.
So like you said, man. So social media is a powerful thing, man. And like you said, it can bring ignorance and excellence. Matter of fact, shout out to Black Excellence and Ignorance. Y'all make sure y'all like, share, and follow on Facebook. You can also catch them on SoundCloud, right?
Yes, sir. Appreciate that.
But
you gonna catch us? Yeah, it's the same name. The name of the podcast is off topic, but Black Excellence and Ignorance will take you to our page on SoundCloud. So.
Okay, my bad. But yeah, off topic by Black Excellence and Ignorance. But man, the thing about social media, man, and the good part about it is, if you choose to use it for good, and if you recognize for what it is, it can bring a lot of things to your attention, a lot of bullshit to your attention, and like, I remember a few episodes, I've covered quite a few stories, about social media shit that we've seen that gets filmed and posted, like the two black guys in Philadelphia Starbucks, you can't get coffee while being black, or the kids in South Carolina who was accosted by the lady at the pool, called the police on them. You can't swim while black. The little girl selling bottled water.
Yeah, that one.
Had the cops called on her. You can't sell water while black. Like, the list of things that you can't do while black is ever growing. It seems like every week. Like, you can't babysit white kids while black. The brother who got, the cops called on him. He had the two white kids, in the back seat, buckled up in their car seats and all of that, seatbelts and shit. Like, if you kidnapping a kid, you ain't putting them in no seatbelt. But another thing you can add to this list is going to the library while black. And I saw this. I saw this story. Somebody posted. Actually, we posted it as well on Black with No Chaser. Like, share, and follow, by the way. But in this story, it shows a guy being surrounded by 5 or 6, security and I guess regular police, harassing this man about him being in this library now. And the thing that struck me was that he said that this is like the 3rd or 4th time that he's been, harassed and all of that, man. And, they tried to get him to go outside and he refused to go outside. He wasn't dumb.
Yeah, that shit sound like a setup for real. Like, the way they were stressing going outside disturbed me. And why y'all want to take him outside and away from everybody? The man making his point right there. He showed you his ID. If you had to double check the ID, you could have just said, just stay here, I want to double check, your ID or whatever. And I'm not saying, that would have justified it, but I'm saying, I'll check your ID and I'll come right back. Just calm down. It's a way to handle everything. But when you know somebody on that bullshit, like he knew somebody was on that bullshit, he behaved correctly to me. They had nothing. They had no reason to. After he showed his ID, that should have been the end of it.
Yeah, man. Like it was a couple of things about that didn't sit right with me. For one, like you said, like their insistence, that one man's insistence on him going outside. Yeah. Like, and then, I watched it 2 or 3 times, and when it was one guy on there that caught my eye, when he realized he was being filmed, he like bagged the fuck up and was like, I'm gonna let y'all.
Y'all got it.
Oh, y'all got it. I don't want no parts of this. And then, the brother was roughhousing him. Like, come on, man. Like, why does it always have to be one of us that's like leading the charge on beating up our own when you with them in this type
every
of
time, man. Every time.
Like that shit really, really bothers me. You know what I'm saying? And like another thing was, if I show you my ID after you accuse me of not being a student there, saying I don't belong there, that should be it.
That's it.
You shouldn't continue to put your hands on me. And the dude pointed it out, like, man, I haven't touched anybody. I hadn't, attacked anybody. I hadn't done anything, but y'all grabbing me, I just found that problematic. And then, of course, you go into the comments, and I really shouldn't go into comments on these types of posts, man, because it be full of just bullshit. But the first thing, you can't help it, man. The comments is almost like a like to some people. It's a drug, man. You just gotta hit that bitch one time,
right?
Once you hit it, you there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It pulls you in. But as usual, you got we don't know what happened beforehand, and you know who line that is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's the one thing that infuriates me with them. They. I was going back and forth, and I know I shouldn't do that. By the way, folks, my man has a segment called 10 Things I'm Not Going Back and Forth with You With on the Unapologetic Geek page. Y'all should really check it out.
Man, look, what you about to say now is why I came up with that. Like, you got to come up in your head, at what point am I not going back and forth with y'all no more about it? I'm just going to say what I'm going to say, and then keep it moving.
Right. Yeah. Man, so and I went back and forth with this cat, man, but when he said something, I realized, I was like, you know what? I cussed his ass out. I said, you stupid as fuck, and I ain't doing this. On the one hand, you said we don't know what happened beforehand. There isn't enough to go by to say anything, and then the second sentence he tells me is, but the black guy he had to do something or they wouldn't be harassing him like this.
Right.
I'm like, I said, well, see, that makes absolutely no sense. Like you actually going against your own self with this. So you don't need me here to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Like it burns me up to no end for them to say that there's never enough information to blame the cops or blame, those who are doing the bullshit, but you can automatically say that we, the black people, are guilty or are in the wrong. But there isn't enough information. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I may need to start adopting your mindset of like, I ain't going back and forth. I'm gonna say what I gotta say, and I'm gonna walk the fuck off.
Some people can still get me sometimes. Like somebody say something outrageous, and I go back and forth. But then usually I come to this point where I'm like, yeah, I'm out, man. Y'all got it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I totally see that now, man. Speaking of seeing things, you realize, what tonight is, right?
Yes, sir. It's time, man. Winter is here. Some people didn't understand what they meant by winter is coming, even though, it was already kind of cool out on the show and all that kind of stuff. Well, winter is here, man. And it's going to come in the form of ice zombies and a fucking ice dragon pulling up through the wall. I'm ready. I'm ready, man. I've been ready since, it was 2 years ago since season 7, right?
Yeah.
I was ready at that point.
Man, listen, man. When that ice dragon that you referenced, man, that whole sequence was probably one of the greatest, most astonishing sequences I've seen on a television show. Like, first of all,
lit, man. That episode was,
yeah. First of all, the Night King, where this nigga get that arm from, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, if he was in the NFL, he would break every single passing record available.
Bro, it was so cold how he hit him, though.
Yeah, like he threw this with pinpoint accuracy, man. Like, he had the arm of Warren Moon, Dan Marino, Lamar Jackson, just all wrapped into one, man. And he hit this flying dragon. Like, it wasn't a steel target, dog. This nigga was flying.
And then he hit him in the perfect place to kill him.
Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bruh, when I saw that and saw that dragon drop, man, I was like, oh, that's crazy. But
if I'm fighting him, you got to kill the Night King first. Clearly.
Yeah, clearly.
The more people he kills on your side, he gonna have to add to his army. Like, right. You gotta start with 2 dragons trying to just light him up. Period. But you gotta be careful of that arm, man. And then he gonna be on the dragon on top of that.
Right.
I can't wait for this, man. I can't wait for it. And then I'm already hearing that the big fight, the big battle at the end of the season.
Yes.
They put everything they had into that fight. They're saying that it's one of the best battle scenes. It's going to be one of the best battle scenes documented in history. I think it's already one of the most expensive battle scenes filmed in history. So I can't wait for that. And I think we're going to see that episode in the last episode, which is what, episode 5 or 6?
Episode 6. Yeah, so, man.
I can't wait, man.
So since we talking about it, man, what is one of the craziest theories that you've heard as far as, like, who's gonna be the final one left in the Game of Thrones that's gonna sit on the Iron Throne?
The craziest one was Bran Stark being by way of being a Night King. I heard a theory where they're saying when Bran Stark was paralyzed and his conscience was able to travel, some kind of way his conscience split and became the Night King, and the Night King is going to be the one to actually win. The bad guy's going to win at the end. That's the craziest one. My personal pick to sit on the Iron Throne, and I'm shaking on whether this is going to happen or not. I think sometimes the most obvious answer is the best one. Jon Snow is the best answer to me. If you look at the history of Game of Thrones, this has kind of been Jon Snow's story. His arc has been a powerful arc. And I believe it should end with him becoming king. Whether that happens or not, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to throw another monkey wrench in there, but it's always trended for him to be the last. I mean, the one who sits on the Iron Throne.
I can see that, man. I think for me, well, I'm gonna tell you the craziest theory I heard, and then I'm gonna tell you who I hope wins. So the craziest theory that I've heard is that Daenerys will die and be the Ice Queen. Like she will. Or rather, she will choose to switch sides to be the Ice Queen to stay with her dragons.
Okay.
Like, you remember
that one is nuts.
You remember when, I forget which season this was. It might have been 4, maybe 5, but it was a dream sequence that she had where she was in the chamber with the throne, and she walked into the other room, and when she walked into the room, she was back in the tent with Khal Drogo and their baby.
Yeah, I remember that.
And she was there with them, but then she heard like her dragons wailing in the back, and she chose to go back to be with the dragons.
Yeah, I remember that.
Right. So I was reading this, man, and it made sense, but I was like, this wild as fuck though. But so that's what they base the theory off of. Like now, you know, she can choose to be with the living, you know, because they went so far as to say she's pregnant by Jon Snow, you know, but she chose to leave them and to be with her dragons, and her and the Night King will rule or whatever. So
I'm not mad at that. I'm not necessarily mad at that. That's an interesting one because the dragons are her babies,
right? Like if you look at it in its totality, it makes sense for them to, you know, propose that type of theory, but at the same time, I was like, that's, who the fuck want to be dead forever?
And well, not only that, as far as trajectory is concerned, to me, Drogo his story perfectly parallels Jon Snow's. Jon Snow was kind of the outcast. He was the one that was, you know, on the outside looking in, the black sheep.
Right.
Drogon, you know, started out, he was with the other 2 dragons, but he struck out on his own. He was a rebel. His whole thing is he's untamed. Right. Essentially, he's kind of a loner as well. And they tease it in season 7 when Drogon comes down to Jon Snow and he lowers his head and lets him pet him or whatever. There's a kinship there. And of course it's because, you know, we know Jon is Targaryen. But I think Drogon is his dragon. And I think that's going to be a powerful scene that I'm anticipating. It's kind of when it's realized that Drogon is like, you the dragon rider. You one of the 3. By the way, the fact that the Night King is one of the dragon riders is awesome. Because there's a prophecy, right? 3 dragon riders,
right,
or whatever. And Daenerys is assumed to be one. I'm assuming Jon is the next one. But the Night King being one of them was a great twist on a prophecy that had so much hope inside it.
Yeah. But I think he's a Stark though. I think the Night King is a Stark. That's why him being a dragon rider kind of threw me off. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
But I guess it wouldn't matter because the dragon he's riding is dead. So it you know. But still though, just the whole, Because, I don't think they do anything by accident. Everything on that show has some type of meaning behind it, some type of purpose. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, the fact that I think that the Night King is a Stark lends more credence to what you were saying earlier about Bran.
Yeah.
I think his role will be a lot bigger. In these probably the last 2 or 3 episodes. But back to who I want to see win. I actually want to see Jon win too, man.
Yeah.
I want to see him win because I think he will have the dopest hand to the king of all time with Samuel Tarly.
Bruh, his homeboy went to school to help him out, man. He went and got an education from the Maesters to help his partner out. Went to a library to study up on the Night King and all of that kind of stuff to help Jon be a better candidate for the Iron Throne. Then he found out Jon has a direct path to the Iron Throne, man. That's my boy right there, man. Seriously.
Yeah, man. I like Sam, man. He's to see him grow from this meek, weak, scary ass. I mean, nigga still scary. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
But it went from just being scary as hell and not doing anything to being able to overcome that fear and step up because I ain't got no choice. Like when him and Gilly was in the woods with the baby and the white came and he pimp slapped Sam and Sam came back with that dragon glass and killed him. Like the old Sam from season 1 or whatever from the beginning, he'd have just took out running like Gilly, you on your own.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I like how they gradually brought him along and changed him and made him better.
Everybody has great character development on this show.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's the best show on television.
Even with the curing of Sir Jorah Mormont from the Grayscale.
Yeah.
He went against I forget the dude's name, but he went against his teachers telling him not to do it, and he did it anyway. The old Sam wouldn't have done that shit, man.
Yeah. Sam was that dude, man.
So just to close it out, man, on this Game of Thrones, because I could talk about it all day. I'm so ready for it.
Yeah, me too.
But if you was a bed man, who was the first one you think is gonna die? Like of the major characters. I ain't talking about the little side notes like Theon and Euron and all that. I'm talking about like major. Who do you think will be the first major character to get killed?
Man, you can't kill Cersei. Can't kill Jon. Can't kill Dany. You can't kill Tyrion neither.
Nah.
I'm gonna say Arya, maybe. Yeah. If I gotta pick somebody that's just gonna have a death that hits you, yeah, I go her. I go her as the first or whatever. Now, if you asking me who's gonna die later on, that's a different answer. But as a first, yeah, better kind of let them know this season is serious without going to the extreme.
Now say that one more time. Who you say?
Arya Stark.
This is one of the things I ain't going back and forth with you on because I don't think it'll be either one of the Stark girls, man.
I could see that too. I'm just compared to the rest of them, man. How at this point, your tier 1 major players are Jon, Tyrion, Cersei, Bran, and
Sansa, Arya, and Jaime.
I wouldn't put. You know what? I'm changing my answer. Jaime is probably the one.
That's who I had.
Yeah. Now I forgot all about Jaime. Yeah. If you want to hit us in the gut early, yeah, that's who I will pick.
that's who I had, man. I think because he quote unquote betrayed his sister wife or whatever you want to call her.
Right.
I think she'll be the one to do it. You know, because she hate Tyrion with a passion of three sons.
Exactly.
You know, so for him to choose Tyrion over her, I think that'll be the first nigga she want off. Period.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's who I think, man.
Yeah, that's a good pick. That's definitely a good pick.
So speaking of Game of Thrones, y'all, immediate following every episode, we'll be having like a live breakdown on Black with No Chaser. We'll actually be inviting maybe two fans of the show from our page and a fan of our page to come on with us to talk about what we just saw. There'll be a couple giveaways and all of that. It's one of those things that everybody's fully invested in, man, because it's so huge, and it's one of the shows that everybody loves, regardless of race, religion, creed, sex, whatever. It just it has pulled everybody in, man. So, I invite y'all to check that out on Black with No Chaser on Facebook, immediately following the show.
Absolutely.
It's coming on tonight, man. You got your snacks and shit ready. What you got for it?
Yeah. I got a couple. I'm a juice guy, so I got a couple different juices. Got some chips. Probably do some Rotel or something like that. Maybe some wings, man. But yeah, it's a event, and my wife doesn't even care for it. But it's gonna be one of those things when it's over. She's gonna go back. This is how my wife is. She got to do it on her own. She has to be in a mood to try something new. And one day she's going to turn it on, and I'm going to get flooded with text messages talking about how great the show is. But as of now, she doesn't really care. She's ready for it to be over with because she knows how much of a super fan I am of it. But later on, she'll appreciate it.
Yeah, but my wife, man, she actually watches it, man. Like, she's a huge fan of it. It's one of those. I bet not watch a new episode without a type of things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's completely different. But as far as me, I went to Aisha Curry's restaurant in Houston last night, Internationals. Mm-hmm. And man, they got like these homemade chips and this green sauce, probably the best combination of shit that I've ever had. And I literally asked for some to go so I could have them for the night to watch this show. Like I got those. I don't know what I'm gonna add with it, but I do have a fresh bottle of Douce with the double crosses on it, to sip while I'm watching this and then sip while we talking about it. So, I got my snacks ready. I got my seat ready. I'm ready.
I'm so ready for it, bro.
Exactly. And, I'm hoping that, how everybody's coming together to celebrate, this 8th season of this show. We'll be here to celebrate, the 8th season of the Unapologetic Experience and the 8th season of the Shade of Shit Talking Podcast. And the 8th season of, whatever we put out on Black with No Chaser TV, man, because it's all, coming. It's happening, and we here for it,
Yes, sir.
So
absolutely, man.
So listen, man, real quick, just run down, tell everybody where they can find you at.
You can find me on Instagram at @the_unapologetic_geek. You can find me mainly on Facebook at the Unapologetic Geek, on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, Google Podcasts. What's the other one? Stitcher and Spotify. You can check me out at the Unapologetic Experience. And you can hear me on the Off Topic podcast, which you plugged earlier, on the Black Excellence and Ignorance webpage SoundCloud as well. And you can also see me contributing to Black with No Chaser too.
As well, so. Yeah. You can also find it on Black with No Chaser Radio as well.
Oh, yeah.
What day you on? Is it Thursdays?
Thursdays. I want to say 8 and 4, or something like that.
8 and 5 on Thursdays on Black with No Chaser Radio. You can find me Mondays on Black with No Chaser Radio as well, 8 and 5 p.m. Bruh, listen, man, I appreciate you stopping by, celebrating my 1 year podcast anniversary with me. You know, hopefully it's a many full, fun, and fantastic years. And I look forward to, you know, having you back on. You know, we'll be doing this a whole lot more, whether it's on mine, whether it's on yours, whether it's on something that we collaborating on Black with No Chaser. But hey, man, I appreciate you stopping by.
All right, man. I appreciate you for having me, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, my boy, the one, the only, Mr. Jarius Thomas.
Peace.
Now, before I get out of here, I want to once again say thank each and every one of you for supporting me through this first year of the Shade and Shit Talking podcast. Without you listening and sharing and liking and downloading, I would not be here to be doing this. So again, thank you and salute. I really, really and truly enjoy this and appreciate you all. I will also want you guys to make sure you check us out on Black with No Chaser. We are doing a Game of Thrones, Watch Them Thrones post-show live recap as only we can do it every Sunday for the next 6 weeks, where we will give our own humorous, black, unapologetic take on Game of Thrones. We'll be having giveaways and contests and things of that nature. So please check us out on our Black with No Chaser page. Make sure you like, follow, and share the Shade and Shit Talking page, www.theshittalkingpodcast.podbean.com. You can find us on SoundCloud. You can find us on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Google Play, and all your major podcasting platforms as well. You can also find us on Black with No Chaser Radio, on live365.com, as well as Black with No Chaser website, www.blackwithnochaser.com. So again, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I thank you guys for this first year. My 50th episode will be coming up soon, and I look forward to doing something there. And like I said, I just hope we turn this 1 year into 8, 10, 12, however many, and let's make this thing a raging success. So again, thank you, and I will see you guys next week.
Oh, thank you.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.